We're live.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Love Talk Radio. Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing. Share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talent, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives.
Okay.
If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution radio show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325
I'm out to lunch, bro.
and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges
How come I don't hear anything?
and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. Hola. In Italy,
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Paleo. In South Africa, Salvona. In Senegal, Marseille. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed, into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with ZeldaSpeaks for your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio, the Female Solution. Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit ZeldaSpeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moments tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered. Stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on higher learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful game. And thanks for listening.
Grand Rising. And welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. Welcome to the Female Solution. Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. We are just here to start your week off with the mindfulness stress relief session. And that comes up at 7:15. Today is Monday, September 13th. Happy Earth Day, birthday, born day, if you're celebrating a birthday today. And always we're praying for the sick and the shut-in, the incarcerated and the non-believers, and everyone who is affected by this pandemic. So I urge you to live each moment as if it were your last, because one day it will be your last. And speaking of the last days, there are members of my former co-workers, I should say, of in media who have made their transition. I was shocked. And, it's always the person you least expect. And the person that I least expect, I got a text from Bam yesterday. From Power 92. Told me that Jam had passed. I'm like, who is Jam? And I forgot they called her Jam, just like they called Barbara Bam. Her name is Jamila Muhammad. I believe she worked in, was it marketing and promotions at V103 back in the day? Jamila Muhammad has made her transition. I think she passed, what's today's Monday? I think it was Saturday? Friday or Saturday, I'm not sure. So condolences to the family of Jamila Muhammad. We are with you in prayer. Please know that. As well as Allison Payne from Chicago. Allison Payne was on WGN News. I had the pleasure of sitting and chatting with her a couple times. A restaurant right there on North Avenue, and it was a pancake house. I can't remember, it was so long ago. North Avenue and Clark. And just sitting there chatting, such a pleasant young lady. And I remember my husband Tony was working for a car place at the time, and she came in and rented a car. And he said, "Have you seen Allison Payne since she's been let go?" I said, "Yeah. We all go through trials and tribulations." But anyway, she has moved on to greater pastures as Jamila Muhammad. They've gone home. The ancestors are welcoming them. They're having a party right about now. So do not feel sorry for their souls. They have been blessed with the gift of transitioning to the next level, whatever and wherever that level is. And last but not least, there are many, many more, but these are the three that I know about. Michael K. Williams made his transition. Remember the guy from The Wire back in the day who had the slit across his face? And he told a very interesting story how he got that slit. But anyway, excellent actor. Gone at 54, I believe it is. 54, 57, somewhere around there. But, we all got to go. So prayers and condolences to all the families. Jamila Muhammad, Allison Payne, and Michael K. Williams. We salute the work that you did. We may think that you have not been here long enough, but evidently you have, because you're gone. So your earthly responsibilities have been completed, and you have moved on, no matter how tragic we see it, because we see it as tragic because we've been conditioned that way. That's what I love about New Orleans. It's like when somebody makes a transition, they party. Ain't nobody said everybody getting their party on. We can learn something from that. So at least you would feel better. Oh, wow. What a way to start the day. Living, how about that? Laughing, how about that? One day you're not going to wake up. So just be glad you woke up today and use this day. And that reminds me of a project that I have been contemplating working on with my former co-workers. And it's like, okay, you need to stop contemplating, Zelda, and you need to get busy because you don't know when your day is up, okay? So that's what's happening. If you're listening online, we appreciate the comments. You can post them on our YouTube channel, Higher Learning TV Show, as well as our Facebook channel, HLN TV Show, and my page, ZeldaSpeaks. So if you want to put comments there this morning, we'd love to hear from you. And remember to set those DVRs for the Higher Learning Network TV show, which airs Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 on Channel 19, and 24/7. On the World Wide Web. And don't forget about my Instagram channel, which is ZeldaSpeaks 2 and the letter U. To you. Okay, and if you are going out this morning, you have to be in traffic, then traffic is always a challenge. So if you're headed out and about, always allow yourself a little extra time because you never know what's going to stop on the expressway because something is always stopping on the expressway. As we take a look at the the Traffic and Weather. Traffic and Weather sponsored by Karen Kelly of ITEX.com. If you want to go to the Caribbean, Alaska, Hawaii, Mexico, Vegas, anywhere on the planet, you can go there. And as if you are a business owner or an entrepreneur and you have products or services to trade, you can barter them. And that's what ITEX.com is all about. So be sure and ask for your $100 bonus to start shopping immediately when you mention the promo code ZELDA, Z-E-L-D-A. Thank you, Rich McGee, and all the ancestors who came before me. Herb, Kent, Cool, Jim, all of those. Big Bill Hill. No, y'all don't know about that. Anyway, there are no reported delays on Metro and CTA, but on the Kennedy, that's another story. Inbound, it is 43 minutes inbound on the Kennedy and 21 minutes on the outbound. On the Edens, it's 28 in, 23 out. On the Edens, it's on the Eisenhower, it's tight from Mannheim Road, 40 minutes in and 30 minutes on the outbound. 27 minutes on the inbound on the Stevenson, 23 on the outbound. On the Dan Ryan, it's 33 minutes. There's a delay at 35th Street, so expect to be late this morning, and it's 18 minutes on the reverse. On the Bishop Ford and Lakeshore Drive, it's 11 minutes in both directions. And that's your Traffic and Weather sponsored by Karen Kelly, ITEX.com. So be sure and check it out. And it's time for our morning inspirational conversations with Shalom with Israel. This is volume 2, I believe it is. Yes. And I'm reading from today's page, and it says September 13th, Monday, September 13th. It says, what area of your life are you expecting something to happen that you haven't made a conscious decision to put a plan into action to bring it into manifestation? So what's going on? It will never happen if you don't plan to make it so. You can't expect to enjoy the music if you don't purchase the product first. Sure, you can record it from another source, but the quality just isn't the same. Don't settle for secondhand stuff. Go first class when possible. Make it happen as only you can. Talking about you. You can't expect it if you neglect it. I'm just saying. Inspirational Conversations with Shalom with Israel, aka ZeldaSpeaks, available at ZeldaSpeaks.com. And proceeds benefit, excuse me, the Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest. As you can see it scrolling there beneath the screen. We are always accepting auditions, I should say, for the Global Virtual Teen Talent, which is every fourth Saturday on the Female Solution, not on the Female Solution, every fourth Saturday on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Higher Learning TV Show. And if you have youth who are between the ages of 13 and 19, have them send in a 1-minute video of their talent, whatever that is, and it has to be a YouTube video. Have them to send that to hlmtvshow@gmail.com. And I know I said that kind of fast, so I'm going to say it again. Have them send it to hlmtvshow@gmail.com. Okay? And we have prizes for them. We have cash for them. And our last contestant, I believe she was from Saudi Arabia. Yes, her name was Najla, I believe it was. And she's from Saudi Arabia. How about that? So that's why it's called the Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest, because there's teens all over the world. And we want to support them wherever they are. So that's what we do. So if you have one, have them send their tape. Excuse me, to HLN TV show, 1-minute video. And then they can send an additional video for 5 or 10 seconds, just saying who they are, what they do, and their hobby or something like that. Okay, so be sure and share that information. And now it is 7:14. It is time for our Monday morning mindfulness stress relief session. So we will sit up straight in our chairs, feet flat on the floor. And I promise I won't take too long today. Someone said, they're too long, Zelda. We fall asleep. It's like, okay. It is not just one person who said it too. It's like, I think I'm in my own world, right? I am in my own world, but I have to be considerate of others because especially this time of the morning, you're just waking up. It's like, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Turn to the left, turn to the right. Yeah. Okay. I get it. Okay. All right. So how about we just stretch this morning? How about that? Oh, yeah, that feels good. Oh, I stretched one up before I got out of bed. Oh, yeah. Oh, I feel it in my back, feel it in my shoulders. Ooh, wee. Oh, how you feeling this morning? Oh, that feels good. I could go back to bed. How about you? Nah, I think I'll sit here and do this Monday morning mindfulness meditation. So close your eyes. You should not be looking at me, but the inside of your eyelids. Not looking at me. Alrighty. And I want you to inhale to the count of 5. Just take a slow, long, deep breath. Hold it and exhale. You don't even have to count this one. Just inhale. So let's do it together. How about that? Feet flat on the floor. Sit straight up. All right, here we go. Inhale deeply. Through the nose. Hold it. And exhale. However you want to let it go. As long as you breathe in through the nose, that's all that matters. Because you feel it immediately in your body when you breathe in. That's why you want to go back to bed, right? Inhale deeply. Oh, it feels so good. You're sending love, light, and energy to each and every part of your body. And you feel it right here immediately because this is where the breath is. This is where everything's connected right here. So let's one more. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. Giving thanks for the power of the breath because we are one of those who can breathe on their own. That alone deserves another deep breath. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. And just being with the power of that breath, knowing that we are at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, having the right experience. And we give thanks as we continue to breathe in and as we continue to breathe out. Inhale deeply. Deep breathing expands the lungs and it triggers all kinds of genes in the body. You decide what you want to trigger this morning. The happiness gene, that's the one I like to trigger. So how can she possibly be smiling this morning? Because I inhaled deeply and I triggered the happiness gene. And you can too. All you have to do is breathe in and breathe out. Short breath. Stress the system. Long, deep breaths. Relax the system. That's why we breathe in. Hold it. And breathe out. And we give thanks for the power of the breath. As we send positive messages of love and light and energy to the brain. Let's breathe in. As we take that energy from the face to the forehead, to the chin, to the chest. As we exhale. Giving thanks. So we take these 2 fingers and this thumb and massage the back of the neck. Oh, yes. Doesn't that feel good? Releasing all of the stress. Strengthening the immune system right there because that's where the vagus nerve is, right there in the neck, the back of that neck. All the electrical energy running from the top of your spine. Your hands get tired, move to the left. All of that energy from the top of your spine to the tip of your spine. You are strengthening the immune system. Did you know that? Yeah. So keep doing it and doing it when you're not thinking about it. As we breathe in. And as we breathe out, letting the breath flow down through the chest and the arms. Feel free to move those arms, wiggle those arms, those fingers, those wrists. Move that body. Get the circulation going this morning. We're not rolling joints. Oh, yes, we are rolling joints, Viata. We roll these joints just like you do, girl. Viata is our Friday morning host here on The Female Solution. She's also on Sunday nights on Soul Purpose Healing. And she rolls joints 24/7. You go, girl. Thank you for sharing with us to remind us to roll our joints too. joints of your arm, not the ones you need that you smoke, but the ones that you roll with your hands and your arms and your shoulders. As we breathe in, sending love and light and energy down through the arms and the elbows and the wrists. As we breathe in, sending more love and light and energy down from the breath through the solar plexus, the chest, the sides and the back and the buttocks and the hips and the knees. As we breathe in, as we roll our hands up and down our legs, giving thanks for the power of the breath, sending that energy down through the knees and the arm, the legs and the ankles and the arch of our foot and the heels. As we breathe in, and as we breathe out, sending love and light and energy down through the toes. Wiggle those toes, sending that energy back up through the toes and the feet, the top and the bottom of the feet, and the ankles and the legs and the shins and the knees. We are breathing in love, light, and eternal energy up through the knees and the thighs and the legs and the buttocks and the backs. As we breathe in, giving thanks for that energy that is moving forward, back up through our back and our shoulders and our arms as we stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch. And we give thanks for the power of the breath as we stretch even more as we breathe in. Sending that energy, bringing it back up through the shoulders and the back of the neck and back to the forehead and the face. And we simply give thanks for the power of the breath, because we are one of the many who are not on any type of breathing machine. We have the gift of life through our own breath. As we breathe in, last breath as we tilt our heads forward, as we breathe out, chin to chest, and slowly rotate that head to the left, slowly bring it around to the back. And slowly, slow down, you're moving too fast. Bring that head around to the right and back to the front. Head up, inhale deeply. And exhale, head down, chin to chest. Slowly rotate that head to the right. Slowly rotating it around to the back. Slow down. And slowly bring it over to the left and back to the front. Head up, inhale deeply. Look to the left as far as you possibly can, feeling a stretch in the right of the neck. Oh, yes, that feels good. Just be with that stretch for just a moment. And as you exhale, inhale deeply. And turning that head to the right as far as you possibly can, bringing that head all the way over, feeling the stretch in the left side of the neck. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, that feels so good. And bringing the head back center. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Oh, that feels so good. Does that feel good? Was that short and sweet for you? Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Now, ladies and gents, that is something that you can practice on your very own. And it doesn't take 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. You can do it in 30 seconds. Because when folks come into your space and you really don't have time for them, you have time to do what it is that you need to do. You can allow people to stifle your progress, or you can just start breathing. And they're going to look at you like you're crazy. But you know what? Chances are they going to bag right on up off you. And if you got a little funk on your breath, yeah. You forgot to brush your teeth, forgot to garlic. Or a little garlic, a little onion, a little something on the bread doesn't smell so good. When they start talking crazy to you, you simply smile and breathe. Breathe in through the nose and Breathe out through the mouth. I promise you, if your breath is not sweet, they will back up immediately. And that's all you got to do. And just start breathing. They'll be like, what is wrong with this child? Well, you know, and I know that the secret to peace is that peace is an inside job. And oftentimes when people come to you with chaos and confusion, it's because they are not at peace. And they want to share that chaos with you. But you don't have to indulge. If you are hesitant about breathing on people, just look at them. And they'll be like, aren't you going to say something? Don't say nothing. Because you have the choice to respond or to react. And most people react. But if you don't react, you just look at them. Okay, I think I'm going to back up off of Zelda because I don't know what's wrong with her today. Do I need to call somebody? No, you probably need to leave Zelda alone. That's probably what you need to do. Sometimes people need to be in their own space and you not in their face, or vice versa. So just remember that. And remember that this is something you can practice on your very own. You do not, I repeat, you do not have to do 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You can do 5 seconds. I just go through it with you so that you'll have an idea of something you can do. And if you can only get that in the bathroom, you go in the bathroom. You go wherever you need to go to get you some peace, because it is your sanity that will keep you at peace. And you be sure and share this with someone, because we're all stressed out for some reason or another. If it's not health, it's family, it's just chaos in every community that you look at, just share it. So when you see somebody who needs a little tender loving care, just share that with them. And you can find more. And on my YouTube page, my editor, Clifton Bradley, one of my editors, has been uploading the videos. So you can see them right there on my YouTube channel, ZeldaSpeaks Mindfulness. Okay? Not Higher Learning, not that one. That's higherlearningnetwork.org's YouTube channel. That's not mine. Mine is ZeldaSpeaks or ZeldaSpeaks Mindfulness. Okay? And being mindful, I want to send a thank you to my former radio co-worker from WGCI, Lisa E., who invited me out to a grand opening yesterday, 2537 South Wabash. Max Grill, MACK''S, Max Grill. But on Instagram, I think he's Max_Grill, MACK, yeah, Max_Grill. He had a grand opening. I have never had a young man who had a food truck, backstory here, had a food truck for 2 years, and they have restaurants now that are in the cloud where you don't go and sit and eat, but you go and pick them up. There's like 30 restaurants in one place. All you do is place an order and go there and pick the food up. That's just amazing what this young man has done. And I interviewed him yesterday. He's on my YouTube, not my YouTube page. He's on my Facebook page, ZeldaSpeaks. So go there and check it out. His name, I forgot his Matt. That's his name. And then there were 2 other guys there, young guys. I can't remember their names. One of them was Von Zell and Anthony. Von Zell was on my left. Anthony was on my right. And these are 2 young men. Von Zell was in The Chi and another TV show. I can't remember the name of it. And the other one was a little baseball player. They are up and coming young men in the community. Very interesting story. So be sure and go and check that out on my Facebook page, facebook.com, ZeldaSpeaks. And you'll see that information. But anyway, thank you to Lisa E., who invited me to the grand opening. And there's going to be others, and I'll tell you about that, of course. And if you didn't go to the... Rockadella showed up too. Remember Rockefeller? Well, this is Rockadella. He's from GCI. We all worked in that little space there, in that little segregated radio station that's now called iHeartRadio. All the white stations on one side and all the black stations on one side. If that ain't segregated, I don't know what it is. I took footage of that before I left, and I was like, wow, it's even racist up here. It is what it is. But I just thought I'd share that with you. And I think it's time that we do something special for ourselves, because we've done something. We've made this country filthy rich, and this country could care less about us. That's why people are leaving here in leaps and bounds. I've been watching these YouTube videos. What's this girl's name? Stephanie Perry on YouTube. Stephanie Perry is a nomad. She travels. She house sits all over the world. And that's how she travels. She'll stay a month here, 2 weeks there, 3 weeks there. That's what she does. And she teaches women how to do that as well. And men, not just, but her specialty is Black women, of course, because she's a Black woman. So just thought I'd share that with you. That is, I've noticed that has been happening a lot. People are getting their visas, and they're just leaving America because America has not been that kind to us. So if I was 20, 30 years younger, I would probably work from home like we're doing now and do that too. So check her out. Her name is Stephanie Perry, Perry. Stephanie Perry? I hope that's her name. But anyway, look for women on YouTube. She's on YouTube. Got lots of videos. She'll show you how to make that change. And right now, I'm going to show you how to make that change. And I'm going to ask you the question, why are you giving away your cell phone data when you can profit from it? To the tune of $25 billion. I didn't say million. I said $25 billion. Okay? So why? You like giving money away? Well, okay. Well, keep doing it every time you use your phone. But if you are tired and you want to join in on that $25 billion, then you need to hear Brother Rafiki Cai, the Digital Doctor, talk exactly about how to do that. Coming up right after the commercial break. So call somebody, text somebody, and let them know that the Digital Doctor is on, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. CJ of Valona Health, where we combine orthopedic manual therapy and neuroscience to treat the whole person. Health tip for the day is keep it moving. Doesn't matter how, just keep it moving doing something you enjoy. Walking, dancing, rolling on the floor with your dogs or kids, really anything. The body craves movement to keep the bones, joints, and the muscles happy. Even our mental health and internal organs and digestive system rely on our movement. Thanks for being a part of the Higher Learning Network, the Female Solution.
Movement, people, movement.
What if you could live to be 120 years old and remain active, healthy, alert, and vibrant? Our bodies are made up of cells that are constantly rejuvenating. So if we take proper care of ourselves, we can literally defy aging. Join us every Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to learn about self-care from Susan Essentials on the Female Solution Blog Talk Radio Show. Learn how to help your body and your cells feel rejuvenated each day through proper nutrition, sleep, frequency medicine, and many unconventional methods of self-care. I'm Jody Susan. Join me and my amazing guests by calling in at 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. We'll help you achieve a breakthrough in your health today. Do you worry about finances, family, health, job, relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answered yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down-to-earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul. Whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. Take advantage of the deal of the day. Go to ZeldaSpeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code for Female Solution and get free shipping. That's ZeldaSpeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit ZeldaSpeaks.com.
Oh man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark. Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. We are a part of the online network of Associated Internet Radio hosts. On Air. On Air empowers you to transform into an interactive radio TV show. It is such a wonderful time to be alive and to see our human family coming together as one community.
Okay, what is the problem here? Some technical difficulties. Always something this Monday morning. Okay. How come I don't hear anything?
Work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark. Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456. I'm Beata, your holistic life coach. These days, it's more important than ever to work on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you consciously breathing deeply in stressful moments? Do you have a plan or daily routine to maintain balance in your awesome body? Are you struggling to be disciplined in your eating habits? When you partner with me, I'll help you develop a personalized health plan that works for your particular lifestyle. You can find out more about me at yourholisticlifecoach.com, where you can also review my 3-step protocol to guide you to abundant health. That's yourholisticlifecoach.com, and I'm Beata. You are tuned in to the Soulful Chicago Book Fair 2020 Vision Fundraising Campaign. That's right. You can support the vision of reviving Black literary excellence in this city by simply taking your $20 or more and donating it on our website. Visit www.soulfulchicagobookfair.com and click the Donate tab on our homepage, or give us a call at 646-359-66. And we welcome you, helping us breathe literary life into the South Side of Chicago.
Grand Rising. We are back, and we are back with the Digital Doctor, Rafiki Cai. Let's bring him on. Hercules. I'm sorry, you got headphones on. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. I can't.
That's all right.
It don't take much to make me happy anymore. I'm just loving this. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Rafiki Cai, the Digital Doctor. Welcome to the Female Solution, Grand Rising. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning.
Grand Rising. It's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be alive. Pleasure to be seen and heard.
Yes, sir. Better to be seen and heard than to be viewed. Yes.
True that.
I made the announcement at the beginning of the show. Some of my former co-workers, one of them was Jamila Muhammad from V103 back in the day. I think she was the marketing and promotions manager or something. I don't remember. It's been so long. Mm-hmm. She made her transition. Young girl in her 40s. I'm like,
wait a minute. No. I didn't know about the transition. We did a show with her once, I believe. I, and she. Yeah.
Yes, back in the day.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. That stuns me. She was a go-getter too,
yes,
man.
She was. Yes,
she had vision. She had vision. She was going to take over the world, man.
Yes, she did. She was a powerful sister. But she has gone on to the I'm getting a message from Naima. No sound. Okay, that's probably because she needs to call me back. Sorry about that, Rafiki.
That's all right.
She made her transition, but she's gone. Another transition too, Allison Payne from Channel 9.
I didn't know Allison Payne. Yeah. But that's that's the third sister that I'm aware of that's 40 something. I lost 2 close friends in their 40s.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, let me turn this down because she had to call me back. Okay, Keisha, you can hear now. Alrighty. So you saying there was another sister who made her transition?
Yeah, like two sisters that were in my circle and close to me in their 40s, and I also lost 2 nephews, like all within the last, year and a half, 2, within the scope of the pandemic. Yeah, 2 nephews is rough, man, but also 2 colleagues in their 40s is rough too. So
tell me about it.
Yeah, people have to be vigilant. This thing is real. This thing is real for real.
And it just so happens that I was talking to Troy and Troy Tyler from V103 and a couple of my colleagues, and I was talking about doing this story about radio, and it's like, okay, they leaving here one at a time. You need to get on it right now. You've been talking about it. Okay.
Right. You're looking dazzling this morning, by the way. You're looking dazzling.
Well,
You
thank
get
you so
your whole wardrobe of eyewear going on. Yeah.
It's hard to look good in the morning, so it's like I have to camouflage some things. Like y'all don't know it, I ain't gonna tell it. So
You looking Monday magnificent.
All
Monday
right,
morning
now.
magnificent.
You gotta change Monday morning mindful to Monday magnificent. That on the request of Dr. Rafiki Cai, the digital doctor. Thank you so much, my brother. Well, you know, you always look spiffy because that's just who you are. You bring it with you.
No, man, I had to jump up and like find my cufflinks and stuff. I know my you just want to feel right? You know, I got them on, y'all.
Let's see him again. Okay, he got them links all this morning.
These are my uncle's cufflinks who actually owned radio stations back in the day. So so I figured it was apropos if I was going to be doing some media to put on Uncle Larry's cufflinks and like,
Uncle Larry.
Bring them.
What station was this?
You know what? The stations were down in Florida, and one of my older cousins worked at them. I never worked at them, but I just, you hear the family legends and what they did, and he was quite a legend. Trust me, quite a legend. Larry Doss. His last name was Doss, Doss.
Really?
Yeah. For one, at one time he was treasurer to the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation and the King Center, and Wow. He was best friends with Coleman Young for 30 years in Detroit. So he and Coleman together, like turned over some rocks in Detroit for sure. Yeah, Larry Doss.
Did you say Miami, Florida, or?
I don't know what exact markets they were in down in Florida, but this is back in the day. This is like way back in the day, man. Yeah. That early crop, that first crop of owners.
Now, see, that's some history I need to know. Being in radio, thank you for sharing that. I need to know that.
There always is the first generation, right? There always is that first wave. I can get you a contact. There's a guy in DC who's probably like one of the historians. And if I could think of his name right now, you would certainly David Honig. Do you know David Honig? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been tracking African American media ownership for decades. So he would, David Honig would definitely know the history for sure. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. I need to know about that. So I will be doing my homework today. Yes.
Cool.
So homework today is something that we all need to do because we are being schooled. So after this show, you think you can just turn off the computer and your phone and just go about the business? That buck stop here. You got information today and you need to apply it and you need to use it and tell everybody you know. You talk about share this video and everybody you know needs to share this video that you send it to, and you need to let them know why. Because you're being taken advantage of and don't even know it. That's why we have the digital doctor here. So the question is, why are you giving away your cell phone data when you could be profiting from it? Everybody else profits off of us, off of our backs. And when I say us, I mean us as consumers, not people with a color of a skin, because this is not about skin. That's the record show. Right. This is about
True that.
So how did this process come about? How did you get involved in it, Rafiki?
Okay. So, and before I jump in with the details, I just want to, if I may, append what you just shared in terms of us maybe not leveraging the full potential of our resources, not only financially, right, but in the subject matter that we're about to discuss. The lens is not just on the finance, but on the science of the matter as well, right? Because we're about to talk about data science, and data is like the digital gold that's driving the global economy, right? Not just in terms of money, right? But when you think about machine learning, when you think about AI, when you think about algorithms, when you think about business intelligence, analytics, all of that is driven by data. So you can have the money and not have the data, and you might not be in the best of positions. But if you can have the data and you can have the money that flows from the data, right, then I think I might rather have the data than the money, right? Because if I have the data, I can get some things done. So I just wanted to clarify that for the listening audience, so that we have the broadest lens and deepest perspective possible on these matters. So how I got involved, I came to hear of a young man in the greater Chicago area, actually in the Naperville area, named Walter Harrison, right? A 30-something-year-old husband, father of two. And this brother was doing something that was professionally distinct and unique in a sense, in that he was an active broker in the data markets, right? So he was actually buying and selling data the way people buy and sell coffee and, livestock and oil, right? In his 30-somethings. And he's been doing this like 5 to 7 years, and he's only like 30-something. Yeah, right? Exactly my response. Like, whoa, right? Because I'm always scouting for, for the people that are like, at the front of the curve, the front of the class, right? And so I took note. I took note of Walter and what he was setting out to do. And actually, after having, operated the company and been an entrepreneur in this space, he wanted to go further, right? He wanted to be able to create his own data trove, but more importantly, he looked at the game and said, this is $25 billion on the table that almost exclusively big tech is carving up. But the consumers are not carving up any part of this 25 billion that they helped to create. So he said, I want to do it differently. I want to count the consumer in. I'm willing to start a company where I will share 50% of revenue back to the consumer, right? And that will be a new paradigm, a new partnership that will help me to build this independent data trove that I want to build, right? And so I immediately reached out to him, like, challenging him in a sense, saying that I'm glad that you're doing the corporate piece, the marketplace piece, the get up and get out and get something piece, right? Nothing ever wrong with prosperity and prospering and being a Reginald Lewis in the field. Nothing's wrong with that at all. But I also urged him to see that the data trove that he would be building with this new vision that he has could also power neighborhood data science, community data science, right? Because for the most part, when people talk about data science and AI, they're talking about corporate, right? They're talking about the enterprise. They're trying to go to space for profit, right? And there's nothing wrong with profit. I don't want my Black enterprise people who might be listening, this morning to take issue with me, right? I don't have any problems with Black enterprise or ethical enterprise at all, right? But the public square cannot be abandoned for the Wall Street interests, right? We have to be balanced, and we have to do both. We have to understand that there's the private interest and there's the public interest. And if we have to be put in a place to choose, I'm choosing the public interest, right? Because the public interest serves more people and is like more broader. And to be honest, it supports the entire existence. Right. So private enterprise drives on the same highways that are paid out of the public interest. Hello, somebody. Right. They draw on the same grid infrastructure, right? There's not a separate highway system or a separate infrastructure for enterprise, right? They actually leverage their profit-making activity on the shoulders of the public, of public resources. So yeah, that's I guess, man, the button's push and I just like go. So that's the first.
I love that.
That's the first rant.
Public interest over corporate interest, because corporate runs America. It just does.
The world.
The world. Yeah.
The world. And we wouldn't be dismayed about that if corporate was grounded and rooted in some moral parameters, some ethical commitments, right? You know, or even we can even go further than that and just say, if we were assured that they were anchored even by common and rational sense, right? Well, I'm very serious, right? Polluting the water and air that you drink and breathe,
come on now,
is not basic common sense. It's like it's large scale suicide.
Ooh.
It really is. Come on, let's just be real, right? The water you drink, the air you breathe, if you are in some kind of nihilistic position where profit is more important than protecting the environment that sustains you, the environment is your embryo sac, so to speak.
Okay.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And so if you have some kind of mind that you like don't care about the health of the embryo sac that holds and sustains you, then
there's no help.
Right. But that mindset spills out into all into the public sphere. That's the problem, right? You know, so there's no isolation. They're not in a silo, right? Their practices and their, you know, I really would call it demented state, because it really, really is. I know that sounds like so harsh, right? But we really, we have to take off the soft gloves. We're talking about survival of the species.
Yes.
We're talking about, like, you know, we're talking about being in existence or not. I mean, it's really, really like code red at that level.
Yes.
And so, you know, diplomacy has to get sharpened, right? We really, really, really need to speak straight to the point on these matters. But that's another topic for another day. We're here to talk about data today.
So why are we giving away our cell phone data when we could be profiting from it? Why are we? Why is that?
So I'm so tempted to respond to that immediately with Brother Malcolm's retort. Please, because you've been bamboozled, you've been hoodwinked.
Tell the truth, shame the
devil. Man. I mean, okay. So I won't put it as harshly as Brother Malcolm. What I will say,
it needs to be harsh. We need to hear it like that. That's how we need to hear it. You can't sugarcoat this.
I will say that we have been finessed.
Oh.
Right. I'll tone it down from El Hajj Malik El Shabazi's level and say we have been finessed with a bit of a sleight of hand, right? And so we've been given like digitally shiny and engaging things to immerse ourselves with, right? But But so even when you talk in tech, people talk of front end development and back end development, right? That's common parlance in technology. Someone will say, "Well, I'm a front end developer, right? I work on the UI, the user experience, the user interface," and somebody else will say, "I work on the back end, right? You know, I do the stack, I do the code, I do the security, right? I do the things you don't see, right?" And so we have been engaged with a show on the front end that is appealing and you know, fulfilling to us, and it's fun, right? But the money's on the back end.
Okay.
Right. So we're like all engaged. We got 5,000 friends, and we got 5,000 contacts and posts and emojis, and
Yes.
all of that is on the front end. But on the back end, right, on the back end, everything that we're doing on the front end is leaving a fingerprint, right? It's one of the terms is the social graph. Right. So this whole vision of everything we do, who we know, who they know, and how all of these interconnect, that's the social graph, right? Mm-hmm. That's one aspect of data. All of that has value, right? All of that has value. And one of the key reasons it has value is because it helps to create intelligence and insight, right? What are your tastes? What are your preferences? What are your attitudes, right? And this gets deep, not only in terms of business, right? But it also gets deep in terms of like politics and persuasion, right? Let's dial all the way back and remember a firm called Cambridge Analytics, right? And Cambridge Analytics out of the UK, right? And here too, we're like doing this whole back end high level analysis, right? That helped the Trump era become a thing, right? Right. Because they were like engaging people on the front end with this video and this content and this viral thing. But on the back end, they were studying the science like you would not believe.
Oh, wow.
Right? Yeah. Oh, no, they had it like masterfully so, down to zip codes, down to blocks, down to houses, right? Because that's the kind of mapping and insight and intelligence and analytics that you can get from data. Right. So you can be making and I used to say this when I first entered technology back in the day, particularly when the internet went public. Right. I would be up in these offices, wherever it was, Johnson Publishing Company or BET or whatever. Right. And everybody wanted to hit me with the question, well, young man, how can I make money on this today? Right. And my retort would be, sir, this is about whether you're gonna be making money tomorrow, right? You can't always just look at how will I make money today, because the game changes, the game gets more sophisticated. And if you're just so stuck in making your revenue the way the game was 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, and you're not projecting, right, where the game is going, right? You'll make money today, but would you be able to make money tomorrow? Right. And so like all of this, and still all of this draws back to this whole digital sphere and data, and watching your data, analyzing your data, and listening to your data. What is the data telling you? Whether you're in science, whether you're in business, whether you're in politics, right? Data is the blood and the gold. Data is the oracle. If you need to know, I never thought I was going. I know that pushes up against village sensitivities, right? But I definitely respect the embodied oracles. But increasingly, we will have to acknowledge that there are digital oracles as well, right? And if we're not rooted, right, we have the spiritual sphere, right? But we have the physical sphere as well. And we have to dwell in balance between both of them, right? So we can have our orishas and, our embodied oracles and all of that. But trust me, if you want to be effective in the game, you better understand where the digital oracles are and how you have digital oracles of your own.
Wow.
Which brings us back to Walter Harrison and this vision to have a digital oracle of his own, which is a data trove, which is a source of like collecting data himself and not having to go to other people to buy the data because he's right. He's built his own digital well. He can go draw his own digital water, right? And when you build, this brother is on it. This brother, he understands the game. So he understands if the game is water, then I need to build my own well. Okay. If I don't have my own well and the game is water, then I've got to buy water from someone else to sell to someone else. But if I get my own well, right, I can customize the water. I can I can do some things, right? Yeah.
Wow. Hold that thought. We got to take a quick commercial break. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. Hold on. We'll be right back with the Digital Doctor.
We have an opportunity to transform the whole global society in the next 50 years. 50 years from now, the earth will be populated by a new generation of adults, many of whom are yet unborn. Our mission is to nurture them in childhood with love, guidance, and protection, and to raise them in healthy, happy families. If we impart values of compassion, generosity, and respect for fellow human beings in the next generation of children, they will create a world where people can live together in peace. This is our goal. Be a part of the transformation. Get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. Go to www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. I'm Beata, your holistic life coach. These days, it's more important than ever to work on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you consciously breathing deeply in stressful moments? Do you have a plan or daily routine to maintain balance in your awesome body? Are you struggling to be disciplined in your eating habits? When you partner with me, I'll help you develop a personalized health plan that works for your particular lifestyle. You can find out more about me at yourholisticlifecoach.com, where you can also review my 3-step protocol to guide you to abundant health. That's yourholisticlifecoach.com, and I'm Beata. Do you or your organization need space for an event? Call the Quarry Event Center at 2423 East 75th Street in Chicago for your parties, banquets, award ceremonies, repasses, concerts, and business seminars. Available 7 days a week. Now under new management. Call us at the Quarry at 773-663-2557. That's 773-663-2557.
And we are back with the Digital Doctor right here on the Female Solution. Why are you giving away your cell phone data when you could be profiting from it? And there's a brother right here in Chicago, of all places.
Right. Greater Chicago, Naperville.
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael, excuse me, I said
Walter Harrison.
Walter Harris, a brother on the
Harrison.
Harrison.
Right, Harrison. Walter Harrison. Right.
Boy, I know people were stopping him on the street, asking him all kinds of questions.
Well, they will be now because the vision that he is birthing, I'm sure they've signed up 40,000 affiliates, probably at this point. Yeah. So they might be stopping him anywhere he travels in the world. And here's an interesting piece about what Walter is birthing, right? Online, there is no geography, right? People have to really, really wrap their heads around that, right? When I was in Southeast Asia for 7 months, a lot of my friends didn't even know I was in Southeast Asia for 7 months because my number rang the same, right? And I was able to present the same, right? Mm-hmm. Wherever I could open my laptop, mm-hmm. I was as engaged as, so geography goes away to a certain degree when we begin to talk about online situations, right? So what Walter is birthing has already drawn the interest of entrepreneurs from around the world, right? The Southeast Asians, the Filipinos, they are piling in. They are piling into this, like Nigeria, like, everywhere, the people were, the places where people really get up and get out and get something, man. They are piling into this, man. So yeah, the brother's birthing something pretty phenomenal.
And how exciting is that to be a part of it? Like when Apple first came out, Google first came out, it's like, there are those who benefit from us, and they didn't look like us.
Right.
We have a chance to talk about ground floor.
This is ground floor of a paradigm shift. I dare even say a part of an industry, because there is one thing that is happening in the whole consumer data space, is that the needle is moving. If you look at the state of California, right, where people have to opt in, right, they're not automatically opted in. They have to manually opt in to what happens with their data. And you have, in the state of California, that's definitely shifting. The EU, they have something called GDPR, right? So their whole threshold around consumer data and being transparent is on a whole nother level than what's here.
Silicon Valley? Is it because they're in Silicon Valley and they know things that we don't know, and the people from California benefit from that? I wonder.
That's kind of that's an interesting point, because Silicon Valley is in California, right? Or the whole West Coast, because now the whole zone has stretched all the way up to Washington, from Redmond all the way down to Palo Alto and Mountain View. You might as well just look at that, University of Washington is definitely in the tech game, recruiting, and you have many giants up there. You have Starbucks, you have Microsoft that has been up there in that area for a long time. Amazon, decades, right? So they have that zone extends. So yes, perhaps the sensitivity is more heightened on the West Coast because big tech is anchored there. But then I think the West Coast, thank goodness, right, is usually always more progressively attuned, right? When you even think of new energy sources and regulations to promote that, and if it was not for California, I would really be concerned, right? And I'm not trying to make a messiah out of California, but the sensitivities are different, right? You know what I'm saying? The whole thing of a livable wage, right? You begin to hear that first, right? And it's a long history of it. Go all the way back to the Black Panthers, right? That's Oakland. Right, you know what I'm saying? Angela Davis, right? That's all all West Coast, right? So the East Coast does have its sensitivity. But when you say Berkeley, right? When you say Berkeley, people already have a certain sensitivity, right? That's not the same sensitivity as New York, right? So the West Coast has a long history of just being more sensitive on certain issues and pushing it to legislation, right? And that's why that you would see during the Trump era that that administration seemed to always be in battle with California, right? It was almost as if California was representing a certain kind of mindset, and the Trump administration was the opposing force, right? So so definitely a data sensitivity thing has already took root on the West Coast and for a while in the EU. And even former presidential candidate Andrew Yang has been advocating for a while that consumers should be paid for their data. Right? He has been advocating that Yang, he's not asleep.
and the world wasn't ready for him.
Yeah. That's
time.
yeah.
Kind
Sometimes
of like Earth, Wind, and Fire. Kind of like Earth, Wind, and Fire, just before they time. Yeah.
wow. Yeah. When you see beyond the norm and you see beyond the horizon, people can't always adjust and tune in. And even if they can, sometimes it's just like, yo, man, that, they understand logically exactly what you're saying, but they're like, yo, that's a stretch, right? That's a shift. And people, I seem to default to like, where am I comfortable now? I know that may be better, right? And I know that may be what we should do, right? But where am I comfortable now? Where's my momentum now? Even us as individuals, things that we know we should do concerning stretching and being flexible and our weight and, detoxing, we know. But where's our comfort zone, right? So
comfortability kills.
Comportability kills. Wow.
Being comfortable.
Right. It can. It definitely.
Being comfortable. You don't grow. You're stagnant.
Yeah.
You grow. You gotta be feeling a little bit uneasy. I don't know about this. I don't.
It's like that pH factor of life, right? You like the pH thing is like a very, very delicate small zone, right? And you need to stay right in that balanced zone, because if you shift too alkaline or too acidic, right, it's right in that zone. So comfort has its place, right? You don't you don't want to live a life of torturous existence, right? But you don't want to get so comfortable too that, as you say, right, you're not spurring your own and catalyzing your own growth.
Kills your drive.
Right. You got to have drive. You got to stay hungry.
Yes.
What is the song?
Les Brown say, you got to be hungry.
Hungry. The way I think is Leanne Rhyme. I think Leanne Rhyme says, may you always have your fill, but never lose your hunger.
I like
Yes.
Hunger makes you grow, sometimes in ways that you have not imagined. And things come to you and you may or may not be ready for them. And most times we are not ready for new ideas, especially as it relates to AI, because we focus on divine intelligence. But artificial intelligence has taken over. And that is if we allow it. And the question is, when it does, and it has taken over, how comfortable are you with it, with moving on, with learning and educating yourself? Well, that's why we got the Digital Doctor here, to educate you.
Just one of many.
Well, we're glad to have the one of many, because not everybody is sharing the information that you're sharing. So we appreciate that.
My pleasure. This is the work that I was born and raised for, right? This is being true to the village calling of my life, right? To always be in service, right? To always have a certain consciousness, right? To not be siloed in self. Right. Yeah.
That's powerful. Siloed in self.
Yeah,
it's all about the selfie, baby. It's all about the selfie.
Oh,
oh my goodness! And we're not condemning it by any
means. Just don't get siloed there, right? There's a place, a time and place for everything. So absolutely celebrate yourself, embrace yourself, love yourself, right? Enjoy yourself, right? But also know that the self is part of something bigger and broader. Right. And so when you were speaking about hunger, right? So let me, if I may, even challenge all of us to take that hunger to even another level of responsibility, right? I would offer that we have the responsibility to not only be hungry for ourselves, but hungry for the generations yet unborn, right? Right. They're not here to be represented. They're represented in us, right? Or the ones that are not of age as yet, right? So this whole thing of being alert, being aware, being conscious, being of service, being hungry toward a purpose, right? I think some people are hungry without a purpose, right? You know, hungry without a vision, hungry without values, right? We're not talking about, that's an insatiable hungry, right? Like that's not the kind of hunger we're talking about, right? That's almost like a parasitic hunger, right? Right? Yeah. That's a whole different thing when your hunger is driven by parasites inside of you, but not a natural balanced kind of like need, right? But we're talking about a hunger that really, really keeps you alive and keeps you asking questions and keeps you vigilant and keeps you reasoning and keeps you researching, right? Yeah, that's the kind of hunger we have. And we have to have it not only for our benefit and the lives we live, but the lives we live are the shoulders for the lives that will be lived.
Say that.
Right? You know, did not generations do that for us?
Yes, sir.
Right? Like the tons of us that have benefited from the presence of HBCUs, even if we didn't attend one directly, right? There's still like, man, I know I have benefited from the presence of HBCUs, even though I never, attended one, right? Right? But was that not made possible because some other generations were hungry, not only for themselves, but for us, right? And so that particular adage and that particular wisdom takes on a certain gravity when we talk about these digital horizons, right? Because things move fast, they move exponentially, and they have serious import, right? So moves that we do not make in this era, in this time, right? Whew, wow. The aftermath and the reach of that, I don't even really want to look straight in the face of that.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That is powerful. And I want to thank our listeners for joining us this morning. If you have questions, you can call in 515-605-9325. Remember, you must press 1 to speak. We see you on the switchboard, but you got to press 1. And if you're listening,
it's about to get interesting now, boy. The line call. This is where it gets real. This is where it gets real.
You can post your comments too. My sister of the microphone, Vieta Robinson in Florida. What part? Altamont, Florida, says Grand Rising.
Oh wow! All right.
She's the sister.
Vieta.
She does Soul Purpose Healing on Sunday nights from 7 until 9 p.m. and on Friday morning from 7 until 9 a.m. Our sister, she breaks it down. All the shows are in the archives, so people are like, I want to hear the show she's talking about. Well, just go to the archives. It's always there, 24/7. blogtalkradio.com, The Female Solution. And we are also live on Facebook.com, HLN TV show, and our YouTube channel, YouTube Higher Learning TV show.
The universe is expanding. The universe is expanding. I see you, Sister Z. I see you. Used to be just blog talk. Now it's like Facebook, YouTube. Okay.
I'm learning. Well, hey, I got the Digital Doctor. I can't go wrong.
You syndicating.
We used to have to wait on them, but now we can do it ourselves.
For sure.
Just like this project here. Digital gold. We can call it
digital gold. Yes, we can call it that because it is absolutely that for some people, right? For some people who understand the game and who jump in and who seize the reins. For sure. It is digital gold. No doubt. I do not think that's hyperbole to refer to it as such.
Because not everybody has vision. And most people, we're, like you said, we're comfortable. We don't want to move forth unless somebody else says it's the thing to do. Well, we're telling you right here, this is your opportunity. This is your chance to see things in a way that you may not have seen them before because you had blinders on or whatever, or you were stuck in your mode of thinking. This is the day that you open up your mindset and allow that which is foreign to you to possibly open up new ways of thinking and being and sharing in the revenue. And I ask you the question all the time. Why are you giving away your cell phone data when $25 billion, what portion of that is yours? Aren't you just tired of giving it away?
Right. So maybe because we've been speaking from 10,000 feet and in generality, so maybe we should kind of zoom down and speak more specifically to the listening audience about what it is we're referring to. Right. So the overview is that all of us are using free apps, right? And when we use free apps, we're the customer.
Yes.
Right. We're the product. Right. We're the customer and the product. Right. Because if the app is free, then how is revenue being generated?
Right.
Right. And one of the main ways that revenue is being generated when you use free apps is in the flow of data on the back end. Right. And that flow on the back end is somewhere in the tunes minimally of $25 billion. Right. And heretofore, consumers have been the creators of that flow, but not participants in the benefits of that flow. So our usage of free apps have created like a pool of revenue, right? But we have not been participants of it. We've been creators, but not participants. So this young brother, Walter Harrison, is setting out to basically flip the script on that, right? And he is birthing a company called Tapestry, Tapestri, Tapestry, right? And Tapestry will be a company, right, that does revenue share with consumers from the data that is created through the Tapestry app, right? And so, for example, if and this, I need to make this very, very, very clear, because soon as you say something like that, people should normally say, well, what does the app do? How does it work? Like, what's the deal with it, right? So the Tapestry app is not a social app. It's not a messaging app. It has one purpose: to track anonymous location, to track anonymous consumer location in business and commercial zones, right? The app will not track you when you're home, right? There's a geofence that can be programmed into the app that when you reach a residential area, the app goes into another mode, because nobody is interested really in the activity that goes on in your home or your fiance's home, right? People are making money from what's happening in Home Depot and Burger King and McDonald's and Starbucks, right? That's, where they're really, really trying to get intelligence, right? What are consumers doing? What are their patterns? What are their movements? When they leave Bed Bath and Beyond, are they more likely to go to another store? And what is that store? When they leave Home Depot, do they go straight home or do they go to another store? And what is that store, right? Are consumers as heavily going to Ford City as Evergreen, right? And nobody needs your name or your gender or your age to see those kinds of patterns and trends and insights. They basically need a body count, right? Which is represented by the presence of your phone, right? So to track a phone is to track a consumer in business and consumer circles. Because if there's a phone present in a business, it must have came there with a body. Right, the phone, right? The phone did not just like float, into Jamba Juice, by itself. So if the signal from a phone can be picked up in Jamba Juice, then the inference is there's a consumer at 12 noon in Jamba Juice, right? What is the presence of consumers in Jamba Juice at 4 p.m.? versus 11 a.m., right? So all of this is analytics and business intelligence. All of this is data driven, right? So this is what Tapestry is setting out to achieve, right? To transparently engage an army of consumers who, first of all, know what's going on, right? Who are explained up front. This is what we're doing, right? This is user consent data, right? This is not data that's hidden in the terms of service that nobody reads, right? Because it's so long and it's so legalese. No, Tapestry is saying up front, this is like the enterprise we're looking to engage. We are in the data business, and this is the kind of data that we are looking to collect, and we're looking to sell it. And here's how we're willing to revenue share with consumers, right? So that's a whole new paradigm of transparency and engagement and inclusion.
One of our editors, Fred Haley, says Tapestry app. I think he's asking the question, but no, it's not TAPISTRY. It's TRI. Yeah, that's what that is. He's asking the question. It's like, no, that's not the right one because people are really confused.
Right. So an I, not a Y. TAP Tapestry. TAPESTRI. Tapestry. So he left out the E and then right, there you go. Put it on the screen for there you go, Tapestry.
And we have another comment from Executive Producer Naima Latif. Question for the Digital Doctor. If you can please break down when we use the free app, I think you just did, who gets paid and how they get paid.
Okay, so let me review that again. Thank you for the question, Sister Naima Latif. Salam. So when we use a free app, our activity leaves footprints and fingerprints of engagement, right? And those footprints and fingerprints of engagement can help to tell a story, right? Or they can help to paint a picture, like I spoke of earlier, the social graph, right? The social graph is the whole mapping of our relationships, right? Right. Or when we use a free app in the sense of, my goodness, Google, right? Like, how much does Google know about the average person, right? Because we use them for email, we use them for calendaring, we use them for like Google Voice, right? And so all of those things are insights on really who we are as consumers, right? What are our sensitivities? What are our desires? What are our wants? What are our connections, right? And we can have the discussion as to where the line of invasion is, right? But when we use these apps, right, we basically are helping to create a trove of information about us as individuals and about us collectively as consumers, right? That information has value because it is the oracle. It is the oracle of business, right? How are people responding to this event, right? And here's the thing, right? I always point out to people that technology is amoral, right? Technology in and of itself does not choose a side, right? Whoever wields technology chooses the side, right? So let's take fire, for example. Fire is a technology. You can either heat with it or you can burn people's houses down with it, right? That's not inherent in the nature of fire, right? It's inherent in the use of fire, right? So the same thing is true of this digital flow of information and this data science, and for that matter, machine learning and AI, right? It's not so much that the technologies themselves are problematic inherently, right? The intent, right? And the powers that get to wield and for what purposes those technologies are wielded, right? That is, in my perspective, from my perspective, in my view, that is where the heart of the matter is. So to really speak to Sister Latifa's question, our usage of free apps creates value in data and data flow, right? And those who harness that data, right, turn it into a goal, right? Because it is an oracle goal. It can tell a story. It can tell insights. It can, in a sense, almost foresee or foretell, right? So what they're going to plan to sell 6, 12 to 18 months from now, they're scouring the data right now, right? They're scouring the data right now, right? Because yeah. That's why I keep using the phrase oracle, right? The data speaks, right? The data speaks because, so here, to take it old school, right? They say action speaks louder than words, right? Your actions are portrayed in the data, right? When you move, right? When you move, the data like registers a footprint.
Yes.
The consumers move this way, or the consumers are liking this, right? And let me show you how it's like whoever wills it, in a sense, can win, right? And I'm not like harping on the Trump administration, but I'm going to definitely use them as an illustration of how savvy people, right, can enter into the data game, right, and leverage it for certain outcomes. It cannot be denied. They were data masters. Russia is a data master, right? The game is in data, right? Because by looking at the data, they can figure out what phrases, what trends, what words, what triggers, and gets a result and gets people to respond to. And if you frame it this way, will it get more shares? And I mean, all of this comes down like, you're not sitting in a room looking in the dark, guessing and throwing darts, right? When you get into the data, like when you get into the data game, you're listening to the oracle, and the oracle is the record of who did what, when, where, and how. Right. And that gives you the mirror, right, Sister Latif, to really, really kind of play in the game with intelligence as opposed to with a blindfold on. So if you don't have data and you're not in the data flow, you're not doing data science, you're not doing data analytics, business intelligence, you're flying blind with a blindfold on.
Okay. Said flying blind with a blindfold on. What?
Yeah.
You have that thought? We're going to take our last commercial break and we'll be right back. Our editor, Fred Haley, says, thank you, Tapestry. Yep, that's the right site to go to. So check it out. We'll be right back.
Are you constantly arguing with your spouse? Are your children misbehaving and acting out? Someone in your family is using drugs? Have you been a victim of domestic violence? Are you grieving over the loss of a loved one? Let us help you restore serenity to your life. At Serenity Family Social Services, we understand that good mental health is a result of emotional well-being. Our goal is to assist you and your family in removing emotional distress and restoring harmony and balance to your lives. We offer individual, couples, and family counseling. I'm Howard Williams, CEO of Serenity Family Social Services. Call us today at 312-315-4820. That's 312-315-4820.
Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Life transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve a peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I'm Director Shin-Soo Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com.
For the Place of Peace pop-up from Tucson Essentials, You are able to increase productivity, mental acuity, leaving you with higher energy and peace in just 20 minutes. We pop up at our office or yours.
And that is the voice of Andrew, who is on the partner with Jody Susan of Susan Essentials, who will be joining us tomorrow morning from 7 until 9 a.m. Central Standard Time with Cell Care. That's CEL, Cell Care. Be sure and join us on Tuesday. That is Jody Susan, Cell Care. On Wednesday, it's Naima Latif and Kareem Hamid, Repairing Family Relationships. And Naima will probably be joining us here for the after show at 9 o'clock. So be sure and tune in for that. On Thursdays, it's Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie. She's a new addition to the Female Solution, and she has an awesome show too. So be sure and tune in. And on Friday, we're back with Health and Wellness with Viata. All these shows air 7 till 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And on Saturdays, we are not on at 7 o'clock in the morning, Rafiki. No, we are not.
I know that's right. I know that's right. The Sabbath.
Going on Saturdays at noon, 12 noon Central Standard Time. And the first Saturday is Nonviolent Communication with Jana, a sister from London, England. She's on the first.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Nonviolent communication. Second Saturday, I forgot. It'll come back to me, but I'm sure Naima will remind me. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah, our very own travel agent on the Female Solution. And on Friday, fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Old school wisdom, that she just rounds it all out.
Wow. Things Mama used to say, huh?
Yeah, come on, baby. Well,
Wow.
Mama did not know about AI. She didn't know about artificial intelligence. So it's this generation's responsibility to the next generation. And in case you didn't,
and both generations listen to each other. Both generations listen to each other.
Learn from each other. All those details are on my blog. You can always, anything we ever talk about here on the show is always on the blog. So please go to ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com as we continue this conversation, because this is an awesome conversation. Nobody.
Man, the Female Solution is doing things, man. I applaud the whole Female Solution family doing things. It's been a while. It's been a while since I was on a Female Solution segment, but man, y'all doing things. Sister Naima, Sister Zelda, the whole family, y'all doing things. Impressive. Really great.
This was Naima's vision, just like the tapestry is his vision, is Walter's vision. Well, Female Solution and it's been going on almost 10 years now. So it's
wow.
I didn't come in for like year 7 or something. Like it's like I was just hesitant. I was like, but you know, people keep asking. Like eventually one day you gonna say yeah or you gonna say no again. So I just thank you, Naima.
Wow. Yes, Sister Naima, we definitely applaud you. Powerful vision, doing powerful work. Definitely applaud you for sure. So
getting back to the question of how this is done, how do those who have a vision for Walter Harrison's vision, brother on the south side of Chicago, how do we become and how do we benefit from it?
Okay, great question. Great question. And the first thing that I want to share out of my mouth, right, is referral marketing, right? Because how we frame things really is how we will respond to things, right? So referral marketing. Right now, if there was a listener listening who did not happen to have Cash App, right? I could send them a link from my Cash App for them to join, and Cash App would pay me $30 for doing that. That is referral marketing, right? That is referral.
We get it
right. We do it all the time, and sometimes there's referral marketing going on where people ain't getting paid, right? They just like referring, right. So the bottom line is referral marketing is ancient, right? You know what I'm saying? Basically, referral marketing is the blood life of business, and especially in particular industries, right? You can put $300 million into a movie if you want. If the people do not tell their friends, girl, you got to go see it, or man, you should go see that, right? That's the real driver of blockbuster successes, whether it was 10 million put into it like Spike Lee or 300 million put into it like Tom Cruise, right? If the people ain't talking, the money ain't walking.
Okay.
Right? So, right.
And we always talking.
Right. And especially when we like something or when we believe in something, right? So like churches and temples and mosques go from storefronts to edifices because people talk and people say, you got to come here, my imam, or you got to come here, my pastor, or you got to come here, my rabbi, right? So that's referral marketing as well, right? So with that frame being properly set, right, the way that Tapestry is looking to pay back 50% of its revenues to consumers, right, is this partnership. Consumers download anonymously and install an app on their phone that runs anonymously, right? It does not seek to know your age, gender, blood type, social security number. It only is interested in your consumer location, your location in business and commercial districts, right? Location. Not what you brought. It does not want you to scan your receipt. It does not want you to say how much you spent. It location, right? Because I think people think that there always has to be a CIA kind of like dossier of information for things to be known. No, just from your location alone, there can be extracted all other kinds of things as well, especially when you append that location information over an extended period of time. So when you listen to Walter speak about the power of location data, right, he always puts in that piece over an extended period of time, right? So if we look at what you do for one day, we only get one insight. If we look at what you do for a week, we get another insight. If we look at what you did for an entire month, right, then we're going to begin to see trends and patterns, right? And then when we look at what millions of consumers have done over days, weeks, and months, right, then the aperture is even wider. So for the installing and running of the Tapestry app for a month, right, for an entire month, and the app must be open and running in the background for at least 90% of a 30-day period, right? If you qualify and you run the app for 90% of a 30-day period, right? As a consumer, you stand to earn $4 to $25 just for running the app. Doing nothing else, you just run the app, $4 to $25, right? Per consumer, per month that you run the app. Then if you choose, you do not have to, there's no like requirements. If you choose to answer surveys within the app, you can add to that $4 to $25, right? But it's your choice. You do not have to answer the surveys, right?
We answer them for free now.
Right. Well, if you choose to, that's another stream of income, right? And then this is all as a consumer, any consumer. Load the app, run it, earn. Answer surveys, earn. If you then choose to tell your friends and family about the app and they run the app as well, right? You will get $1 per month per consumer that is running the app because of you, right? And that's all on the consumer level of opportunity. Any person download the app can do those three things and earn, right? But they only get $1 per month per app for the people they directly refer, right? They directly refer. That's one level. Now, for those who are more entrepreneurially inclined, and they look at this and say, what? That's just downloading the app and just running it in the background. Well, like, let me look at this, right? They can choose to become affiliates, right? Now, when you become an affiliate, the first immediate benefit is, right, when you refer people to the app, you will earn $1. But the people that you brought, when they bring someone, you will earn another $1, right? So you have a first and second tier, and that's it. That's it. It's only 2 tiers, right? So for people at this point who are inclined to start closing one ear and saying, "Oh, this sounds like that network marketing."
I was one of them.
Right. No, this is referral marketing, and it's only 2 levels. Period. Everybody, 2 levels only. Right. So if you're just a consumer, right, you get $1 per month for everyone you directly refer. Right. If you're an affiliate, you get $1 per month for everyone you directly refer and the people that they refer. Right. So you put a doubling on it. Right. And so for those who may be entrepreneurially inclined, right, there's a piece of information that you should be aware of for your own decision making, right? The Tapestry app is in development. It's about 95%, 98% done, right? And until it launches, there's a promotion going on that for one single $9.95, one single $9.95, you can become an affiliate for an entire year.
For
right?
$1.
For $9.95, you can become an affiliate for an entire year. So for that one trip to Starbucks for your favorite drink and your treat, right? Because that's about $10 in Starbucks, right? You can have an opportunity available to you for an entire year to at least learn from. Right. If you don't do anything but become an affiliate and treat it as tuition and say, I'm gonna get in this thing and I'm gonna see what they doing and I'm gonna check it out. Right. Or you can get in, right, for $9.95 and talk to the young people in your life from 16 years old and older, right? And turn them on and say, don't your mama always buying you that bus pass. Don't you think it's time that you start buying your own bus pass? Like, let me show you something, how you can make money from doing what you already doing. Right, like from being in that phone and being on the gram and no shade. But if you're gonna be on the gram, you can have a part-time job, right? That's as simple as explaining the power of consumer data and how consumers can get paid for their data. So if you turn your friends onto something where by running an app, they can earn $4 to $25 a month, right? You all can have a circle and say, what? You know what? We're going to all run this app, right? And even if we only make $10 once a month, we're going to take that $10 and we're going to either go out together or we're going to put the $10 together and we're going to do, right? So for educators that might be listening, right, this is a rich canvas, right? This can be an experiential canvas where you can engage your students about how the digital world works and what is available to them, right? Because your students can take on a project and say, okay, we're going to see how many people we can get to run the app, right? How wide our network grows, right? So that's a whole learning experience in and of itself. And then we're going to donate all of the $1 per apps that we generate to this. So, we're going to do this with it or that with it, right? So there's all kinds of collective learning and collective engagement that could be put into a lesson plan around something like this. So, yes. Wow. So you probably definitely have some questions now coming up in the chat.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think about it like that, because the teachers, instructors, facilitators, okay, that's powerful, because the group that we manage, the Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest, I have not mentioned that to this group, but I think we will. I know I will, but this is my question. And because some seniors have asked me the questions, because they want to donate, because I use this as a fundraiser for the Higher Learning Network.
Okay.
They want to donate, but they just want to donate. They don't want to participate. And I explained to them, but you're already participating, because you're giving away your data every month, and you're not benefiting from it, because they're making the $25 billion, this whole industry, and you're not getting a dime of it. But here's your opportunity, and you still want to give it away. You just want to donate. I don't understand it. So help me help them understand the importance of having that app on their phone running in the background, not just give us money. That's not what this is about.
Okay, and so when we, and it's interesting, right? So here's my response. And by the way, I've already done like a 1-page overview for a course, right? That is called My Digital Power, right? My Digital Power, right? And the course will be centered around the Tapestry app, but its purpose will be to guide the participants and students about looking at what their digital power is, right? So to segue that to the seniors, right? It's not necessarily just about the app on their phone. Even as a senior, right? Even as a senior, they have grandchildren, they have nieces, they have nephews, they have in-laws, right? And if the seniors decide, okay, we're going to support Higher Learning Network, this is what we want to do, right? They have the power, right, to ask their network, right, to run the app, right? So they may not get it or be energized by it as much, right? But if they reach into their network and a few people from their network get it and are energized by it, right? They've just helped Higher Learning Network even more, right? So we really have to begin to think in multidimensional and exponential ways, and not just the individual and linear way, right? So that's one way that they can look at it. And also, everything is not money, right? Remember, at the very outset of this discussion, I talked about how you can have the money and you can have the data, right? But if you got the data, chances are great, right? You're going to be connected to the money, right? Because data is like a digital gold and a digital blood flow, right? So even they're participating in this, right, is really, really helping to create something, a new paradigm. Their participation, right, is about helping to birth something where consumers flip the script on something, right? We've been creating the data. You've only been benefiting, but here is a new model, right, that proves that consumers can benefit and that revenue can be shared. Because once the bar is raised and the game goes to that level, right? So it's not really just about it's bigger than just their single phone. It's about helping her higher learning network, but it's also about helping to birth a new paradigm of how we educate and look at data and engage with data and benefit from it. So I know we're right at 9 o'clock. I cannot believe the time flies so fast.
I forgot to play the ending. We have an ending that we usually play. So I'll be playing it in the background as you talk. So pay
well, it's not that much.
But I got to play it. Naima will kill me if I don't. So it'll just play. But I just want to know.
Be sure to put up your link for Higher Learning Network in terms of where they can go.
I just wanted people to know who you were and what gives you the authority to do what you do. I just wanted to share that. But
cool.
And so you can all just Google it, Rafiki Cai.
RafikiCai.com. That graphic that you're sharing is RafikiCai.com. 20-year veteran in internet technology, specifically with a community focus from Capitol Hill to Hollywood to academia.
You can also reach me on my website.
Who will soon be teaching our children? Who will soon be teaching our children chess? Praise. We're working. We're working on that. Yes, sir.
Sisters who are listening, please learn to play chess, and please teach your daughters and your nieces how to play chess. It is very, very important. We could do a whole half a segment on that. But sisters, be queens on the board, literally and figuratively, for sure.
I want to thank you because I'm going to be one of those students too.
All right, we'd be glad to have you.
I'm glad to have you. The 13-year-olds and the 19-year-olds. I'll be right there with them. You know what? It is just, I don't know. Sometimes I'm a little late on things. I remember going to Columbia College studying radio, and everybody in there is a teenager, and I'm the only one in there that's 38, right?
That's all right, but you was there, right?
I got the Grace Jones high top face, so they don't know how old I am. They think I'm a big girl, you know. It was so funny. College was so much fun for me. It was pathetic.
Oh wow! So they invigorated you, and you invigorated them.
Yes,
and it was all good. It was symbiotic.
Before you go, I want you to join Naima Latif. She's the executive producer.
Sister, you are such the visionary, I like how you rocking that hair too. Look at that hairstyle. Like $10 million smile. Look at that $10 million smile. Ooh, you could do some commercials. You could do some commercials with that smile, man.
The Female Solution toothpaste, girl. You better get
right.
You got the teeth in the gum.
That's right. Put the female herbs in the toothpaste.
That's right. That's right.
That's it. All right, I'm on
it. It is a blessing to lay eyes on your image. A blessing indeed. Thank you for your vision, and thank you for staying true to it and being diligent, year after year after year, for sure.
Thank you for being a part of it. We couldn't do this without brilliant people like you.
It's good to be back in the seat. Good to be back with the family. Good to see you, for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Well,
thank you for.
We as a group need to be a part of this enterprise because it's 9 of us. So we download that app and
Wow, there you go. Cool. That'll be exciting. And so, we can, if necessary, everybody can participate in the app, but those who see an entrepreneurial opportunity in it, for the team that I'm building, right? I'm telling all my team members, lead with a cause. Right, like the cause that I'm leading with is I'm CTO, Chief Technology Officer of an NGO called Friends of the Congo, right? And it is so sad, Sister Naima. Every phone that each of us has, right, has cobalt and coltan in it, right? A big portion of the cobalt and coltan in electronic devices, particularly phones, computers, comes from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, right? One of the biggest providers of cobalt and coltan to the world, right? Sadly, we have elementary school age children, elementary school, girls and boys, trapped in the cobalt coltan mines because that is the only way that their families can sustain themselves, right? Elementary school boys and girls working in the cobalt coltan mines, right? So Friends of the Congo is doing this project, right, where we're looking to build a digital clubhouse, right, where we will have internet access there, and we will do actual training to empower these young people so that they can become virtual earners, right? We're going to teach them the game, right? And so that's the project that I'm leading with, right? So if people who come onto my team sign up through Congo Clubhouse, right? Because that's my cause, right? Sister Zelda Higher Learning Network, right? Just signed up another internet radio station out of Houston, and they're going to have their cause, right? But I'm really, really urging my team. This is a powerful new paradigm. We should leverage it in a powerful way, right? We should lead with causes and show how when consumers do something new, when they do something like this, it's benefiting more than individuals, right? So to load this app is to support higher learning. To load this app is to support freeing young people from the cobalt mines, right? People can put their minds around that, right? People are cause oriented, they're service minded, and if all they have to do is load the app to support, then they will do that, right? And so that's really the Rafiki Cai strategy to this. Go ahead. So I saw that question. Go. I learned to read the body language of you and Sister Zelda. I know when there's like a question like right there.
Well, the thought that came into my mind was, what would it take for those families to own those mines so that whoever's working there, children, adults, it's all coming back to the families? What would it take to make that happen?
You know what? We would have to have that conversation because see, you're always like the mega visionary, right? Like, you know, you're like always on a whole nother galaxy, right? Like Reginald Lewis had nothing on you, boy. Oprah ain't got nothing on you. You're like mine. So what I would say is that there would be a financial, of course, cost, right? But when you talk about something like rare minerals, right, you can't just come with money, right? I mean, to really, really have the full righteous conversation, it gets political, it gets military. I mean, that's why the Congo is such a mess right now, right? Like the Democratic Republic of the Congo is like, it stays one of the hottest zones in the world, right? De Beers, diamonds, cobalt, coltan, and it ain't just about money, right? It's about politics, it's about might, it's about money. So we might have to very well, right, look to empower those families, right, in other ways. Like my paradigm is from the cobalt mines to the data mines, right? Because there's a whole new kind of mine, right, that's opening up, right, where the barriers are not as high as it would be for the cobalt and coltan mines, right? So if we can begin to talk to young people and their families about data mines, right, mines that they can lay access to, like what Brother Walter Harrison is doing, right, building his own mine, right, extract his own gold, right, all from a computer. And there's probably a video, Sister Naima, I don't know if it's been shared with you yet. I think I shared it with Sister Zelda. Quickly, I'll say to you, when I was connected with the computer science department at the University of San Francisco, my mentor said to me, Rafiki, we're approaching a time when code will write code, right? When code will write code, right? Sister Naima, I could send you a video of something called codex, right? CODEX, right? Where if you talk to codex the way I'm talking to you right now, right, and say, codex, put this image on the screen in the middle of the screen, move it from left to right, and boom, 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 boom. Codex in 12 different programming languages will code out the commands that you just gave it, right? So you could do a space shooter game in 8 minutes. If you just tell Codex what to do, you can put a space shooter game together that in computer science, the students have to work on for weeks to do. Codex and do in 8 minutes. So if we can teach our young people in the Democratic Republic about Codex and empower them in that way, then they have access to a whole new and different kind of global mind, not just the mind that's there in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So that's
all of that's possible. And you said something that really resonated with me when you said that the internet has no geography. You know, when you're online, there is no geography.
Right.
That's true.
It's everywhere. And
that's true.
That's such a physical representation of a spiritual reality.
Ooh, right. The oneness, right? The oneness, right, right.
Seeing that being manifested in our world so that we can understand oneness. Mm-hmm. And when we understand it, then we all create systems where we're collectively benefiting from each other. So just as this system you've talked about, we're all connected and we're all benefiting from the actions of each other. That really is how the universe works.
Yes.
So when we can grasp that concept, then the systems that we can envision will be along that same spiritual principle of oneness.
Right. Because we then begin to leverage the technology with particular visions and particular verbs, right? The technology is amoral in the sense we have to program it, right? We have to direct it, right? It carries out our directives, our visions, executes on our commands, right? So listen, vision commands that are wholesome and for the whole, for sure. I'm as Gary Vee would say, 100%, or Nipsey Russell would say 100%, 100%. Yes.
I'm looking forward to this. And I think also it helps us to expand our thinking when we realize there really are no restrictions on how we may grow or where we may go. And there's nobody that is keeping us in a state of oppression, only our thinking. So when I look at something like the Congo, where you speak about the children in the mines, well, the mines themselves are there, the minerals are there. If we wish to extract them to use them for our technology, then it only makes sense that those who live on the land benefit from that labor, that effort. Now, if there are other people who are believing that they have the rights to control that, then we need to peacefully help them understand that they don't.
So that's the conversation. How can we speak the language of peace to people who do not see peace as benefiting them, and will go to any lengths, right, to do the opposite of peace, because peace does not support and propagate their conniving and their enterprising. And that's a righteous conversation, right? And these are the kind of conversations that our young people want to have, right? They don't want to have the gilded, wishful thinking conversations, right? They want to have the real straight in our face of reality conversations, right? There are people who undermine, Gil Scott-Heron had a song that said if everybody who talked about peace would work for peace, right? Then there would be more peace. But some people absolutely are anti-peace, don't believe in peace because they feel that their profit is driven and flourishes in the absence of peace. And they don't have any problems with being true to that, right? With being true to that. So I would love to have a conversation with how we peacefully engage people who are not committed to peace, right? And like, you know, they committed to the exact opposite.
Wow.
Right. I mean, that's just real talk.
And this is where we have to understand the power of collective thought. If everybody who lives in that land and works those mines says there will be no more work until we are the ones who own the mines, and we'll negotiate giving those who may have initiated some of the ideas a portion of the earnings, but this is how the agreement is going to be. Now they have the power to do that. What stops them is the fear of other people's military weaponry coming against them and killing them. And the only thing people have over you is your fear of death.
That's real talk.
Then there is no control.
So when we bring that factor into the conversation, then that definitely takes it to the whole nother level. And that really, really tilts the scale, right? If people are not afraid to die for a cause, right, then that's a whole, like, that is unstoppable. That is unstoppable. That is unstoppable. And that's real conversation. And that's really where the rubber hits the road, right? Because most of us are in a state of existence or a state of comfort, as Sister Zelda spoke about earlier, right? Or a state of programming that we cling to life. The very thought of like leaving life or losing life puts us in like a state of like petrification, like you would not believe, right? But if you are on a different plane, right, where the people that inspire us, some of the people that inspire us the most are the people who were able to look in the face of death, right, and keep moving and not be paralyzed. You know, Sister Harriet Tubman and Sister Sojourner Truth and El Haj Malik El Shabazz and Dr. King and Fannie Lou Hamer, and like, you know, the list goes on and on, from all different cultures, right? So people who can look beyond death, right, and look right in the face of death and still keep moving for a cause, that's the highest level. That is the highest level. So if that's the kind of peace you're talking about, then ain't nothing can be said to you about that, because there's no power greater than that. And that has been proven out endless numbers of times in whatever revolutions you want to refer to, or whatever movements you want to refer to. I mean, SNCC, CORE, like, you know, the student non-armed, you know, that whole thing, right? Able to look in the face, you know, able to look in the face. That, sister, ain't no retort to that. That's just the ultimate. If we can get people there, right, then, and you know what? We don't even have to get the masses there, right? You don't even have to get the masses there. If you get a catalytic population, a catalytic circle there, moving in that spirit, the Black Panthers, right? Like, you know, like a catalytic seed, right? The power of that kind of witness, wow.
There's another level to that also, because now we have a global community that is connected. If people who merely decide they don't want to support what is an injustice to the people decide, we will not purchase your products bought from the use of these materials until there is a right organized structure in which the people are benefiting from their labor. If they are not owning these mines, we're not going to financially support whatever you produce from these mines until that situation changes. So therefore, whatever you're doing has no value because we're not going to consume it. It is the power of collective thought. And because we are all connected, it's very easy to organize such a collective thought. When the collective mind agrees, then that is the reality we produce.
So let me go ahead. No, I don't want to cut you off by any means. Go ahead, please.
This is how you have a peaceful revolution. In the past, we have seen people who've had to face death and abuse and physical injury. Yeah, as you mentioned, SNCC, you know, and even Mahatma Gandhi and his revolutionary movements for the freeing the people of India, and all of the times when people have had to resist oppression and then face attempts at force. In the recent times, because of television, when people saw it, people from other places saw the abuse, they decided, I don't want to do anything to support the abusers. So this is why Dr. King and the Montgomery bus boycott was successful, and the whole civil rights movement and desegregation, all of that was successful because as it was televised, more people became supportive of the movement because they didn't want to support injustice. What was that Edmund Pettus Bridge where you know, people marching from
John Lewis, right? And then right.
So
Birmingham
people watching him beat. So, oh no, I'm definitely not on the side of the people on the horses with the guns and the clubs. No, I'm gonna go down there and march with them. So the movement expanded even further. So we've even now expanded beyond television, where we have the internet, this global community where on your cell phone you're connected to the world. How easy is it to put out a thought? We're transferring the power of those minds to the people of the Congo so they can benefit. And now we're still going to get good products, but it's going to be done fairly so that we're not impoverishing people, we're not oppressing people, we're enriching people. And therefore, people are not going to be in a state of unrest, because if there's prolonged unrest, eventually it erupts in war, which is why we have all these places where there's war around the world. War doesn't benefit anybody. It's painful, it hurts, it destroys the earth. So it's not in any of our best interests. So it's in our best interest to be supportive of the people of the Congo owning those mines. And we will collectively make that choice that we're only going to use the products that come from those mines when the people own them. So those who are in control and threatening military force, well, your force has no value because you can't make people work for you at the threat of death. Even if they work for you, we're not going to buy your products because we don't agree with that. That's how you have a peaceful resolution. Revolution is when we collectively choose what's right, and we collectively choose to support the people's right to benefit from what's in their land.
So your last line is a perfect segue for the question or addition that I've been waiting to make to this conversation. And let me first of all say 100%, right? This is not a rebuttal of anything that you just said. What you have just laid out is pristine, right? Pristine on its own merit. The question I would enter into the conversation, right? And you nestled it in your last statement. You said the people's right to own, right? What I've been wanting to insert into this conversation is our whole mindset about the right of ownership, right? Because if we open up another aperture on this conversation, right, the discussion of labor versus capital, right? Like many problems that beseech us in the world is because of the religion of a capitalism, right, that purports that capital is the right to own. Right. Right. So when we get to the root of this discussion, right, it's kind of like from cradle to grave, right? We are programmed to believe that there is a certain righteous position in capitalship ownership, right? Capital versus labor, capitalism at its core is this whole like espousing that capital is righteous and the owning of capital is divine. Even if you study the founding of America, right, and the founders of America and what they espouse, right, the sign of the elect, right, like when this country was first founded, right, if you didn't have capital, right, which was defined as land or money, then you did not have the sign of the elect. Right, no. God had not shined on you, and therefore you couldn't vote or whatever. Right, so that religion, right, around the righteousness of ownership, right, is one of the impediments and one of the realities and dimensions of the vision that you put forth, right? So people can be moved to do something, but usually not against what they believe, right? So oftentimes people who are oppressed have brought into the mindset that this oppression is righteous because the capital, that person they own the mind, they put up the money, they brought it, the religion of capitalism, right? So it's like, and you nestled it right in your last statement, the people's right, because what sits at the center of this is, where is the canon of right? The right to ownership and who is the rightful owner, right? And so we have to factor in this whole thing of what we've all been taught, right? And that we glorify. There's no way that Trump could have ever ascended to the Oval Office if the backdrop of this whole thing of some kind of distinction because you have capital or you have claims to capital. No way on the planet ever without but that is a powerful force. And unfortunately, even as a former minister, as someone who comes from 4 generations of ministers, it always pains me when I see people speaking from sacred spaces, whether it's temple, mosque, or church, right, espousing that religion of ownership and glorifying it, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So I just wanted to throw that piece in, because when you're clear about what's right, then you can put yourself in the same position, right? So a lot of people may not follow the vision and the path that you lay out because they may not believe that they have the right to that, right? They may not believe because the way the game is laid out and orchestrated, that's not your right. You don't have the papers, right? You don't have you didn't buy, you didn't purchase, right? You don't have the deed, right? And so what you're saying is that there's a higher deed system, right? There's a higher way of looking at this, and we have to really bring people to that light, right? That there is a higher deed system, right? And if we go with the higher deed system, then the highest level of ownership is the collective, is the whole, is the highest good, is the common good, not the private good, not the individual good, not the market good, but the highest good, the whole good, the wide and open good, right? Woo.
Well, I'm going to throw this thought out there for people to grasp. Mother Earth has given us everything for absolutely free. It does not cost to live.
Say that.
Mother Earth has given us everything for absolutely free.
That belongs on the shirt. That belongs on the shirt. Okay. That belongs on the shirt.
have here, the mines, the minerals, the ground in which food is grown, everything was already here.
I'm right. I'm taking notes, sister. I'm taking notes on that.
The only way people have agreed to allow other people to claim ownership and control is because those people threatened to end their lives. And they feared death. So they allowed people to take control of that which no one can own. We are here on a temporary journey. We own nothing.
Okay.
Benefit from the earth. The earth gives us what we need to survive. We have our learning experience. We learn how to interact. We learn how to cooperate. And then we leave. And every material thing is left behind as our life force energy goes back to the non-physical. So if we can understand that there is no death, then no one can threaten us with death and therefore force us to labor as slaves for them out of fear of death. And once we get over that fear, that misunderstanding about ourselves as eternal beings having this temporary physical existence, then we can go ahead and look at the earth and all of its abundance and create systems of cooperation where we all have what we need. We all participate in the service to each other. We all enhance each other's lives, and no one is controlling anyone. That's the highest level of human evolution that we are striving toward and will attain. The question is, how many lessons do we need before we attain that level?
Lifelong lessons.
We have had many lessons that have taught us if we are not fair with each other, if we are not fair with each other, eventually the anger will build and erupt into violence and war. And we have experienced the fact that there are no winners in war. There is hurt, there's devastation, there's destroyed families, destroyed lands. There is no benefit in that. So the more of us that recognize that, the more of us will choose to create a different system where there is no capital, because there is no ownership. There's only collective service to the whole. And we can all have the same wonderful things we have created, just without the incorrect belief system that I must have power over someone else in order to have what I need.
Sister, I'm going to speak a word to you. There are tears in my eyes whenever someone speaks to the core of the truth and to the core of the light in the way that you do. It really, really, really like touches me and gets to me. I want to say to you, sister, that we know the mantra, right? You just laid out the mantra. You just laid out the meditation, right? And our work is to hold the mantra and to echo the mantra and to continue to echo the mantra in every way that we can, that no matter what the outside noise is, no matter what the delusions are, right, that we are holding the mantra, we're holding the meditation, right? Some of us can articulate and bring forth the mantra and the meditation in ways that are poignant and powerful than others, right? I want to say to you that you are a powerful echo of the mantra, right? And this is already one medium that you are echoing the mantra forward, right? But the thought comes to me, and I urge you to think about, right? A pocket book of like meditations, a pocket-sized book of meditations, right? Because we need to make this almost like a faith. I won't use the word religion, right? But this mantra needs to become a lifestyle, right? It needs to be something that is always close to us and present to mind, right? We can carry it in a little pocket journal that we can read on the train. It can be digitized as well, right? Every way in which we can echoed the mantra. Earth, Wind, and Fire echoed it in a certain way. Gil Scott Heron echoed it in a certain way, right? And we need to be on our microphones in every way that we have possible, echoing what you have just so eloquently and powerfully put into the universe. So definitely, sister, think about that, because your voice carries magnetism. It carries, like, your conviction is clear. Yeah. And it comes across in your articulation. Maybe that's what like powers that smile. Maybe that's a Dalai Lama smile. maybe we just cracked the secret, right? Like now we understand why that smile has so much power in it, right? That's a Dalai Lama smile right there, right? That's a smile that's reflecting light. This ain't about toothpaste. This ain't about toothpaste at all. This is about something much higher than that, right? I never thought, people often say that you can see much in the eyes, and that much comes through the eyes, right? But what I've just learned today is that the outpouring is not just through the eyes, right? It can also be through the smile, right? Because I'm making a connection between your conviction and your smile, right? And that's a new connection for me, right? Because people often talk to me about my smile, right? And I just account it to genetics. I look at it on a physical level. I've never looked at it on a metaphysical level, right? I've never made a connection between the spirit, right, and the conviction energy and the smile. So now I will never see smiles ever again. I've just been taken to a whole nother level because of just like your moment of witness. But that pocket journal of meditations, I'm telling you, sister, that I put that on your altar. And I know you already got 100 things on your altar, right? Because you got 1,000 ways to take over the world. I'm sure already. Right? But I will urge you to think that just the way we still reference miseducation of the Negro or the souls of Black folks, right? Like 70, 80, 100 years from when they were first written, right? That's the way I'm looking at this pocket thing of meditations, right? I'm looking at a mother giving it to a daughter, and then a grandmother giving it to a grandchild. I'm looking at that pocket of meditations. I'm seeing 100 years. People will still be pulling out versions, right, of that pocket-sized meditations about the mantra of righteous ownership, right? And this whole new, because you nailed it, right? So please, sister, put that on the altar. That like little pocket piece of meditations. Yeah. Yes. So I'm sure you saw the Female Solution has like programming that y'all need to move forward with. So the brother is just going to exit left. It's been a great experience, a great joy, great pleasure to be here. You can always get my contact information from Sister Zelda. If you want to chop it up like 1-to-1, or you want to do any kind of like gathering of those, you said there's 9. Anything I can do to help further the Female Solution, as well as what Sister Zelda is looking to do in lifting Higher Learning Network through this tapestry venture. I really urge all of us to take this journey, right? There's value in it, right? There's value in it if we take it and if we get on it, right? And the outcome may not be 100% what we would like it to be, or we're told it could be, or whatever. But nevertheless, the journey in and of itself can have value, even if it does nothing but bring us together in an exercise of collective working and building and listening and supporting to, one another. That in and of itself is worth the $9.95, right? You know what I'm saying? The single $9.95. That exercise alone is like, we've paid a whole lot more for a whole lot less, right? Okay. I won't name any institutions like that go unnamed. Right. But we pay a whole lot more for a whole lot less. So that's my parting word. I'm so glad I was able to catch a part of this after show segment that just so naturally flowed into, like, you're just being on the screen and us just jumping into it, and that smile just like pulling me in, to the engagement. Ooh, you almost need sunglasses for that smile, man.
Sisters, smile. I tell her all the time. So maybe it's here for you.
The joy in my
there you go. I definitely salute and respect and adore each of you, and we will be in touch. Be well and be blessed.
Yes. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm Digital Doctor out.
The Digital Doctor is over and out. Wow. Powerful show. And he hung in with us too. Deborah says, amen, amen, amen. Deborah Smith, our Saturday host. Move around with Deborah every third Saturday. Grand Rising, everyone. She says, could you give the app address again? Actually, what I'm going to do is share my, because it's kind of awkward. So what
we need to, in a action, put all our group together and go into this and
we do.
However the best way to do it, so that it's most beneficial. We should do. Sorry.
I want to show the that's my blog, ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com, so you can see. It's your data, and you should get paid for it. If you scroll down, I should say, when you scroll down on it, you will see the link is right up under this photo, and you simply click on it, and it takes you right there. Got it? So it'll take you right to Tapestry. So that's all you have to do. That's the address. So go to my blog, ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com, and did I say that right? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, go to ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com, and I'll put that on the screen too, so not everybody can see that, because the link is so, it's complicated. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, so we'll just simplify it as much as possible. Yes.
So I just put on there ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com. So that's where you go. Oh, she just asked for that, and I just put it right back up there again. There it is. There it is. Tapestry is the app, and it's at ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com. Got it? Okay. Well, it is 9:41. I have my weekly 10 a.m. Zoom I have to be prepared for. So I want to thank all of you for watching us, and those who stayed with us on the Female Solution platform. We appreciate you. And we're glad that Naima could come to the rescue again. Sometimes I have issues on Monday morning mindfulness, but thanks to you, I didn't have any issues this morning. Oh, and by the way, thanks for the, I got in yesterday at the festival, and I posted some pictures. Actually, copied your video. I copied your video from your attendance Friday.
Wonderful.
It was Saturday. No, Friday.
No, Saturday. Sunday.
Yeah, I copied that, so that's on my blog too. So you'll be able to see there too. You'll be able to see Naima reporting live.
Yes.
From the Female Solution. So you want to give us some closing thoughts, Naima, what to expect Wednesday on the Female Solution? Actually, start with Tuesday. How about that?
Yes. Well, of course, Tuesday, join us for self-care with Jody Susan. And Wednesday, myself and co-host Kareem Hamid with Repairing Broken Families. Thursdays, we have our wonderful Dr. Debbie Green with Soulful Solutions. And then Friday, Health and Wellbeing with Viata. Now, Saturdays, of course, as we said earlier, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday is Success Strategies with Jana, and also look out for her nonviolent blogging carnival kicking off in October. So we'll be adding some thoughts on nonviolence, how to create a peaceful world, how to teach our children and loved ones how to interact peacefully, and what some of our experiences may have been in deflecting what could have been unpleasant violence into a peaceful condition. So we're adding to her blogging carnival, getting statements from people, whether it's video or written columns from all over the world, so that we can be of that one mind that we talked about. And once we create that one mind of peace, then we'll see the transformation of the world, because we'll have that collective thought that this is the world, this is the way we want the world to look like. So we're grateful for Jana as the originator of the blogging carnival, the global blogging carnival for peace. And of course, the second Saturday, we have our attorney coming back to us, attorney Wendy Williams, Esquire. She speaks on relationships, and as a 30-year family law attorney, she wants us to avoid those wrong decisions that cause us to end up in court. It's such a painful experience. So she, of course, is giving advice on how to make sure the person that you think you love is actually fit to be in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And the third Saturday, again, we move around with Deborah, our travel agent, and she's helping us to navigate the whole process of traveling. And in these times, we need to keep abreast of some of the changes and requirements so that we can have a good travel experience as we move around the world and meet our brothers and sisters in the human family. And then, of course, fourth Saturday is Wisdom with Mama D. One of her famous sayings, if you beat souls into shape, they'll get bent out of shape. So you must love souls. So we love wisdom, and that's women in support of daughters on motherhood preparation, which is what we must do as women, prepare that next generation of mothers so they can raise the children to be peaceful blessings to the world. So look for us on the Female Solution every day of the week. And Sunday, of course, we've got Soul Purpose Healing with Beata, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. And always we look forward to that, because everything starts with the soul. We are souls inside these temporary physical structures, here to learn the greatest lesson, and that is how to love. So thank you all for joining us on the Female Solution.
And thank you for joining the after show with Naima Latif as we leave you with the Female Solution promo.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with ZeldaSpeaks. Tuesdays, Self-Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the show for the day. But we got more comments that we need to post, so I got to share. National Preparedness Airport Out First Destination. I'm not sure what that means.
That's your upcoming show on the 3rd.
No.
Yes.
Oh, that's her upcoming show.
And I think she said September is National Preparedness Month, I believe.
Okay.
So we know it's also National Suicide Month.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes.
So Dr. Debbie will be talking about that suicide prevention.
Okay.
Yeah, so Dr. will be talking about that on her Thursday show, and then of course Deborah will be talking about National Preparedness Month on her third Saturday show.
So thank you for Deborah. We greatly appreciate that. For everybody watching the show, thank you for hanging in here with us, getting this information, sharing this information, because we've been left out of everything. Now we got a brother named Walter Harrison on the south side of Chicago. Make sure we're all inclusive. So go to my blog, ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com. You'll be glad you did. Tell everybody you know, share this video, like, subscribe, and know that you are loved and we appreciate you. And we all want to grow up and have a great big smile, just like Naima Latif. Namaste, Hotep. Shalom. Make it a great day. And thanks for watching. Peace. Love, peace, and hair grease.